Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good morning. So we're going to hear a lot of great examples today about how companies are using their corporate purpose to drive change. But I'd like to shift gears for a moment and hear from someone who's driving change through personal purpose. So it's my great pleasure to introduce my friend, WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. In addition to being an accomplished athlete and entertainer for WWE, outside of the ring, Titus is a hardworking philanthropist and mentor, helping to raise millions of dollars for charities, scholarships for student athletes, and at-risk youth. For the past 2 years, Titus has been part of a successful campaign between Nestlé Waters and WWE to encourage children and families to choose water as part of a healthy lifestyle. But that is not what we're going to talk about today. Titus and I have known each other for 7 years, and I can assure you that he has an amazing story. So amazing, in fact, that he wrote a book about it. His book, No Such Thing as a Bad Kid, which came out this summer, details his path from a very turbulent childhood in South Florida to finding his personal purpose, which has helped define the rest of his life. So Titus, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So you're the author of this
really
new book,
nice.
No Such Thing as a Bad Kid.
Yeah.
Tell me how that title came about.
Well, first, I know we scripted for time, but I want everybody that has their phone, most of you should have it out anyway, because I dressed up for y'all. I want you to text anybody in your phone this exact message that I'm going to have you text. I love you, and I believe in you. I love you, and I believe in you. Some of y'all ain't texting. I'm off the clock, but I will get on and body slam somebody. So I'll give you your answers or responses right away before you even get them. Some of them are going to be like, hey, is everything okay? Did I do something wrong? The second one is going to be, thanks, I really needed that. My morning was really going a wrong way, and it helped me out. And then the third one is that they're going to reciprocate to you and say to you, I love you, and I believe in you too. So, which takes me to the purpose of why I wrote the book and my purpose of why I do what I do for a living. So I am a product of a rape. My mother was raped at 11 years old. She had me at the age of 12. She was actually driven from North Florida in St. Augustine down to South Florida in Boynton Beach, Florida, to have an abortion, and she jumped out of the car, and 4 months later I was born. I grew up poor. I grew up labeled a kid that would be dead or in jail by the time I was 16, and I believed that for a majority of my young adult life. I had an opportunity to go to a place called the Florida Sheriff's Boys Ranch, and one conversation that I had at that moment, I was getting ready to actually be discharged from the Boys Ranch because I had anger issues and fought a lot, and I just signed a contract that I would not fight anymore, and 30 minutes after signing that contract, I got into another fight, so I was supposed to be sent home, which is very ironic to me because now I get paid a lot of money to run around with boots, baby oil, and underwear on TV to quote-unquote fight. And so he said to me, why do you think you get in trouble all the time? And I said, I don't know. I think I'm just a bad kid. And he said, there's no such thing as a bad kid. And right after that, he immediately told me that, I'm going to tell you something and I want you to believe it. He said, I love you and I believe in you. Now, a lot of people at that point had told me that they loved me, but then turned right around and abused me, beat me, cussed me, etc. But nobody at that point had ever told me that they believed that I can do anything. I was actually told the opposite, that I would be dead or in jail by the time I was 16. And so this book that a majority of you guys will get a copy of out of here is a small glimpse of what I think is an overall message of don't label people, because you never know how they're going to turn out. And I went from being an underperforming student to, first person in my family to graduate from high school, first person to graduate from college, the illustrious and great University of Florida. Go Gators. Few claps.
It's New York.
Yeah. Yeah, correct. But yeah, that's kind of how I came up with the topic of the book.
So you talked a little bit about, being labeled and the message in the book. What other messages do you want to send to people that are, looking to help those with challenges?
Well, I think challenges affect everybody, and a lot of times people think that we got to go save the world for the underserved or for the homeless or etc. There are people in here that come from affluent backgrounds that have to face challenges. There's nobody sitting in this room that at one point in your life that somebody needed to encourage you, motivate you, help support you financially to get you through college, to talk you off of a ledge of making a decision to quit your job, etc. We all go through challenges, but the great part about life and my life in general has been that there's been so many transactions that have made transformation, and I think that that's why what my family foundation, that's what we're about. We're about making transformational change, and that's what I try to push companies and organizations to do too, make transformational change. And what I mean by that is like, it's Christmas time, oh, let's go get a bunch of gifts for kids. Well, that's a one-time transaction that people do once a year, but the other 364 days a year, what are you doing? You know, and people start building their purpose on giving, but are you giving consistently? And to me, transformation happens when we do things consistently. And unfortunately, I say this, and sometimes it pisses people off, but I don't care. We have this bravado about being the best company or the best country in the world. Meanwhile, we have people homeless or people that fought for this country that are homeless and still dealing with issues or whatever. And I feel like in order for us to be the best country in the world or the best company in the world, we need to start being the best people in the world. And that doesn't matter what political background you come from, what race you are, black, white, Hispanic, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how much money you make or you don't make. It's unfortunate that most times, the only time we ever come together as a country is in tragedy. A hurricane happens, we got a hashtag going. Tornado happens, we got so much empathy about other people, but then on a day-to-day basis, what are you doing at home, starting with your own family, and then what are you doing at your job? How are you pushing the narrative to change things and not worry about the profit or not worry about the loss of income because you have to support something? That's what has helped me get to the point of learning how to deal with people with challenges, but also helping others help others with challenges. Focus on the issue and not on the background.
So you're doing something pretty extraordinary in your community of Tampa, Florida, to drive transformational change. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I know a lot of you may be familiar with what LeBron James has been doing with the Akron public schools. I'm doing the same thing in Tampa, where we're transforming an entire neighborhood, not just with the school, but I'm building a prosperity center with my family foundation, where we'll be able to help the adults, because a lot of times everybody drives things towards the kids. But the adults need to help equally as much, especially in underserved communities, because the high school graduation rates are not that high and college attendance is not that high, and you're working minimum wage jobs. So we're building this prosperity center to help the adults. We have financial literacy courses. We have a culinary course that we're going to be able to not only teach culinary in a 10 to 12 week course and place them in higher wage jobs, but we're also going to be able to feed 500 to 1,000 families a week with take-home meals. We're building a track and field and trying to change the whole culture, because I know gentrification is coming to that area. It's inevitable, and I want to have these families that are in need and these teachers that are very undervalued worldwide be in a better position to have resources come to them. So we're bringing partners and corporations there to kind of help influence that change, and also give these people that say they want to be involved with positive change an opportunity to do so.
So on TV for WWE, you play a real-life superhero, but you have this theory that you actually don't need to be a WWE superstar to be a hero.
No, we all are heroes. Everybody in this room, and kids are heroes. The elderly are heroes. I've seen kids that have battled cancer, beat cancer 2 or 3 times, that have shown their heroic sense. We all have the power to transform lives. And so when I asked you to send that text earlier, you got one of those three responses. Now, you did that with somebody that you know. My question is, what is going to happen, or how you think it's going to change things when you do it with a complete stranger? When you tell someone and you show someone, I love you and I believe in you, unsolicited, out of your own goodness of your heart, what happens when your company and your pool of influencers come together and say, we're going to go fight this cause and this issue, and we don't care what these folks look like, where they come from, etc. This is what we're going at today. You guys have done walks for breast cancer. You guys have done so many things that help raise money and funds, and your purpose is driven behind that because you're connected to it. So I would urge all of you to be the hero that you are, no matter where you come from, what you look like, how much money you make, to be a heroic person of humanity, a hero of humanity, teaching human beings how to be transformational and not transactional.
Great. Thank you very much. So thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your truly inspiring story. We do have copies of Titus's book available for everyone
low
here
price.
today.
No, actually, they already paid for it. So.
And we hope that it inspires all of you.
But if
I knew
sign
we
them,
weren't
though,
going to get through this.
I'll sign them.
But we want to inspire all of you to find your personal purpose and make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you.